It's a vibe thing. You like the vibes, yeah. It's a vibe thing. You like.
Welcome back to my channel, Shauna For Real, where I keep it real. You already know what's good. Your girl is back with another video, and this video is to help all my people out there to budget their money, how to use their credit cards, everything just finances. Because I thought I should make this video because I'm told I'm very good with money, which I am, and I don't make a lot of money, so I'm really good with what I make. And I kind of feel like I want to go into a business with helping managing people's money, but I'm like, you know, let me give some tips to people out there who find it hard to budget their money and save and all that good stuff. So you're getting a little free info here. I'm not a professional. I did go to business school, so I know 1, 2 things, but I'm not professional. But this is how I budget my money and how I save and how I'm able to achieve the stuff that I achieved. And yeah, so throughout this video, you guys will get some tips, some tricks, and all these good stuff. So keep watching, guys, and let's get into this video. But before I do, you guys know what to do. Subscribe down below, give me a big thumbs up, and keep watching your girl. Join the Real Squad family. We're ready for you guys. Come on, join. But let's get into this video because it's about to get very financial. So guys, I have stuff in my phone here that I wrote down. Like, first I'm just gonna give you guys 3 tips which I have when it comes to managing your money, saving your money, just money in general. So always at the wrong time. I'm filming my video. I'll call you back. Yeah, okay, bye. Sorry guys. Okay, so the first thing I have on my list, which is a tip, I'm just gonna start off with these, is never spend more than you make. So if you're making $2, you can't be spending $5 a month. If you make $2 a month, you can't be spending $5 a month. There's no way. You're spending way more than you're making, and you're putting yourself in debt. That's just exactly how you go in debt. So if I'm making $3,000, $4,000 a month, I can't be going out spending $6,000 a month, because I'm just putting myself, you're putting yourself in a hole that way. So that's my first tip. Always save something. No matter what it is, you can make 10 cents, you save 5 cents, you save 2 cents. Save something out of everything you make, because every dollar, every cent counts, and you need to save money. Like, saving is a big part of life, especially the way the economy is looking right now. It's not looking too cute. So, well, in Canada, I don't know about everywhere else, but like, it's not looking, things are getting expensive, so you want to save your money. So the next thing on my last one is, this is exactly how to, well, obviously this video is about budgeting your money and such, but create a budget. Like, you have to have a budget. If you don't know what you're spending, you will not know where your money is going or whatsoever. You may have an idea in your head, but you won't have an exact grand total amount of where everything's going, what is taking up most of your money, what can you cut back on, what, like, you know, it's a budget is like a big thing. Like, I make a budget and I don't have that much expenses, but I have a few. But like, making a budget will really help you guys. I'm telling you, 100%. Okay guys, so now I'm going to be telling you guys how I budget and save my money each month and how I distribute everything. And this system works for me. I don't know if it'll work for everyone, but you guys can use these tips that I do in my monthly budgeting system towards yours, and you guys can kind of mold your own system that works obviously for you, because everyone has different expenses, and some people make more, some people make less. I'm on the lower end. I don't really make that much, but I budget my money so well that everything flows, everything works. I'm good. But so now this is how I do mine. So I get paid every 2 weeks, and with my budgeting system, I know what stuff I have to pay, how much I have to pay, and I know what dates my stuff are coming out. So for example, my car insurance. My car insurance comes out every 15th of each month. So if you're getting paid like direct deposit or even checks, you kind of know your pay schedule. So if, say I get paid on the 6th of one month, I'm like, okay, the 6th is closest to the 15th. So I'll save whatever that check I get. I'll save that money from that check, so I know it will come out, it'll be enough for my car insurance. So let me restate that, because I kind of sounded confusing. So if I get paid on the 6th and my car insurance comes out on the 15th, I'm saving money from the 6th to cover for the 15th where my car insurance comes out. So that's one way I pay some of my stuff. But yeah, so let me get back to it now. I get paid every 2 weeks, and when at each paycheck, this is how I kind of break it down. So first I pay all my like expenses, my debts, my expenses. So when I mean debts, like say if I owe my credit card like $50, $100, I'm putting that on my credit card. Say I have auto pays on my credit cards too, so my auto pays only come up to like $150, so I make sure I always pay all that off first. And what is included in my monthly budget is my savings. You always want to include your savings as a piece of your, like as an expense, I should say, not as a budget. You create your savings as an expense because that way it's something you have to pay. So meaning like you can't go like, okay, January, you know what, I'll just skip savings this month, I'm gonna save next month. No, it's an expense that you have to pay. So that's how I do mine, and that's how I look at it. And when I put the savings away, I just pretend it's not even there. You don't want to see it's there because you don't want to be tempted to use it. So if I say I'm broke, I have no money, I have money, but I technically don't, because you're not supposed to touch your savings. That's like that little cushion you want to just keep. So always include your savings as a part of your expense. So what I do now when I get my check, I pay my expenses and I take $200. I don't know if that's going to be enough for everyone, but this is what I do. I take $200 out from that paycheck to balance me off until the next pay. So with that money, I could buy my gas, which I usually do. I buy food, and pretty much that's it. Or if I want to buy like an outfit or go shopping a little bit, I get like a 1-2 thing. But like that's pretty much what I do with that money. So $200 balances me off until I get paid again. So your account will be sitting in zero. You'll still have that $200, which is $100 a week. If you can live off that, well, I can live off that. I'm not saying if you guys can live off that, but I can live off that because I don't really buy much. I just buy food sometimes. And half the time I'm cooking and bringing lunch, so I save myself money. So that way it works. And what happens too, if you don't use up all that money that's supposed to balance you off, you carry on some of that balance that you that money that you had, and you put it onto your next check. So if my next check's $1,000 and I carried off $100 from that $200, I got paid $1,100, so I have an extra $100 in that week, if you guys get what I'm saying. So it works for me. It's really good because you get to see, you can't really get to see, you get to budget yourself better that way. Like you only have $200, okay, I have this week and I have that week, so you're not going to go below that $200 one week because you know you have another week and you still need money. And with the savings, I try to save at least $500 a month. So that's already included in my expenses. And you have to know the dates when like certain stuff are going to come out of your account, so you know that there's money in there for you to pay those expenses. Like I said, with the insurance and like my phone bill, stuff like that. So if you know your check is, or your paycheck is closer to one date than the other, save from the earliest date so you can have that for when your expense is about to come out of your account. And I do that with all my checks. So you have to have an idea which should be in your budgeting plan, your budgeting system, when your stuff are coming out, so you kind of break it down so it's easier for you. And this is what I do. It really works for me. Like I pay all my stuff on time. I know when everything's coming out. I know how much everything is, and I'm never surprised, I should say, about how much I'm spending, because it's always on track. And what you want to have in your budgeting to know how much you're going to have left over, basically free money after you paid all your expenses and all that stuff, is you want to do your income minus all your expenses equals basically leftover money, which is free money for you to do whatever you want. And I always budget myself to see how much I have left over every month, so I kind of have an idea. So that's my budgeting / saving system, which I do every month, which is super simple. It's literally super, it's the simplest thing you could ever do. Like it's literally all about planning and breaking your expenses down. That's all you have to do, and you can keep your money flowing, keep on track, save good, and just know where everything's going. Especially now, you can like track everything. If you're using a lot of like debit credit, you can track everything in your account, so you know kind of where your money is going to, and such and such. Okay, so now I want to talk just a little bit about credit cards. I probably should do another video on this, but I'm just going to go through this really briefly because I don't want this video to be super long. So credit cards can either be a blessing or they can be a curse, especially if you do not know how to budget your money properly, or how to use them, I should say. Because a lot of people get credit cards like, oh, I got $1,000 limit, and you go swipe, 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 and then when your bill comes, you're like, oh shoot, like you got a whole $1,000 to pay back. But a lot of things you guys should do with your credit cards, which I do with mine. So what they say is if you have to use your credit card, that means you can't afford it, so don't buy it. But it's like you want to build your credit as well, right? So what I do when I use my credit cards, I know how much I get paid, I know how much I usually pay for my budget, how much I'm left over with. So I spend a certain amount on my credit card knowing how much I can pay back. I don't go spending like $3,000 on my credit card knowing I can't pay it back, and interest is just going to build and build and build. So if you're good, just have an idea of how much you're gonna you can pay back. So if you say you usually at the end of each paycheck you have like $100 left over, only spend $100 on your credit card, and then that way when your bill comes, you have the money to put in there. Oh, and you should always have the money. I don't want to say always because I don't follow that. They say you should always, if you're gonna use a credit card, always have the money. So like if you want to go buy a $50 pair of shoes, make sure you have $50 sitting in your account so you can just put that on your credit card and you know everything's like paid off. But the way I do it, I just know how much I can afford to spend on my credit card. Then when I get paid, I just throw it on there. Another thing with the credit cards is interest. They must hate me because they never make interest off me. I'm telling you, like the way it works, I don't think a lot of people know this. Once you use your credit card, each credit card company gives you 21 days of grace period before you start getting interest. So that's 3 weeks. That's 3 weeks, guys. You have to pay back that credit card without any interest. So when I use something today, 3 weeks later, that's when my interest comes. So I could pay it maybe next week, the week after that, and then the week is gonna come. The interest is gonna come. So you have 3 weeks, guys, to pay your credit card without being affected by the interest, which nobody wants. So basically, if you're using it and you're not getting affected by the interest, you're just literally taking that cash money, putting it on your credit card. No fees, no nothing. That's the best part. And with credit cards, they usually say stick to one credit card. But if you're a bad gal like me, I have 4. I just got rid of one because I'm like, I don't really use it. I budget my money really well. The more credit cards I tell you, it's going to be harder for you to budget, especially if you're using all 3. All of them at one time. I'm saying I have 3 now. I used to have 4. And I would use one at a time, and then I would always make sure I remember. So if you're using one at a time, it's easier just to check and see how much you owe. But I never ever use 3 at a time. And if I use 2 at a time, I have the cash directly on me and I just use it just to use it because I haven't used it in a little while. So, you know, just to show that I'm still using the card. But that's why I got rid of one of my cards. But I'm telling you, if you're having more than one and you're just starting out, I do not suggest that. Stick with one for now. Build your credit, especially on one, because like they will increase your rates. You're allowed to it's not your rate, it's your limit. Increase your limit. You're allowed to get a limit increase every 6 months. So with my credit card so far, I had like 3 increases already. So it's really good. If you're getting an increase, that shows that you're doing something good and you're paying your credit cards on time and everything's good. So you also remember that, guys. Keep one credit card, but if you're really good at managing money, you can have a couple, but just know how to use them. Because people say like, oh, only keep one, but you just have to know how to use it. Credit cards are super dangerous. And a lot of people think it's free money. Like, you believe it or not, people that are my age think, oh, like using my credit, they think it's free money. Like, it doesn't work like that. I don't know who the hell told you guys that it's free money, but you got to pay that back. It's just like financing. Like, you could buy something on your card, maybe you buy $1,000, you don't have the $1,000, you find it. You can pay it every month. You're paying it, making payments every month, so you finance it off. You're gonna hit with interest, but you're still paying off your credit card. So it's kind of like a little finance. What else do I have to say about credit cards? Oh, another thing I want to say about credit cards is when you're getting a credit card, if you don't really care about like the benefits and stuff, which I didn't at first, but now there's a lot of like cashback cards, rewards cards, travel air miles cards, all these stuff. Like, try to look for cards that you get some benefit back from, like, and there's annual fees for some of them, but it's okay because it's like nothing. It's like $30 for the whole year. But you want to like find benefit cards. So like right now, like I have a CIBC card, which is just a classic. That one's just a simple card. It's a regular Visa. I also have another one, which is maybe for Canadian Tire, which if you wanted to buy something over $200, you can make 12 equal payments with no interest for a whole year or 2 years. That's like a benefit, and you get Canadian Tire points on top of that. I also have another CIBC card, which is linked with Tim Hortons. So every time I spend on my card, I get points towards my Tim Hortons where I can go get like a coffee. I don't drink coffee, but like a coffee, a donut or something. And every month that CIBC sends me something free for the month for using the card. So even if I spend $1 on the card, they send me like, oh, get free soups every weekend for the month of December, something like that. So also look towards that when you're looking for cards too, if you want to get a benefit. But if you don't really care, just go with like a classic Visa or a classic MasterCard. Interest rates, credit cards. A lot of them right now, you can get some for 14%. All my credit cards are 19.99% interest. It sounds high, but if you're paying your stuff on time, interest, the amount shouldn't even affect you. Honestly, I have never been hit with any interest that was super high, even though the interest rate is really high, 19.99. But usually for the ones that you pay like a yearly fee, they usually tend to be a little bit lower. Like you can get 14% or even 10%. But the different cards, it varies. But just remember what I said. If you're paying your stuff on time before you get hit with the interest, or even just a little bit after, like you shouldn't really get impacted that much by the interest. It doesn't. For me, it doesn't impact me at all. So another little thing that I forgot to include was when you're making your payments on your credit card. you want to try to aim for more than just the minimum, because when you pay just the minimum, literally most of it's going towards your interest and then the rest is going towards the principal that you owe. So it's always better to pay above minimum. That also, if you're paying above minimum, that also gets your limit increased as well. And another thing, this is the last thing about the credit cards, you never want to use more than 60% of your credit card. So if your credit card's $100, don't use more than $60 of your credit card. A bank, someone that works at a bank told me that, and it kind of looks bad that you have, I don't know why they said that, I just know it's bad, but they said it looks bad if you have money owing on your card, which is basically 60% or higher. I heard it was 80% or higher, but from the bank they told me it was 60% or higher. So that's pretty much it for the credit card. Alright guys, that is it for my budgeting / financial video. I hope you guys found it very helpful and use some of these tips towards your own budget. I'm probably going to be doing another video maybe again on credit cards and how to build your credit. If you guys are interested in that, you know, let me know in the comments. If you guys have any other questions, also let me know down below. And don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys again in another video.